Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So guys, I'm looking on Zero Hedge and I came across this article, and I love this article because this guy makes the point. So the name of the article is Russian Troll Farm Indictment Shredded by Journalists Who First Profiled in 2015. So essentially the person who actually profiled us in 2015 in advance of the ridiculousness that's taken place, of the hysteria of today. He has some comments. Following the special counsel Robert Mueller indictment of 13 Russian nationals and 3 entities behind a Russian troll farm, quote unquote, said to have meddled in the 2016 U.S. election, admittedly with zero impact, 2 people familiar with both the ads purchased by Russians on Facebook and the troll farm in question have refuted Mueller's narrative over the course of 4 days. Indeed, things don't seem to be going well for the Russian investigations, which started out with serious claims of collusion between Trump campaign and the Kremlin, and has been reduced to CNN diving through the garbage of a Russian troll farm. CNN sent somebody to pull a stunt where they were literally diving in the garbage. Let's keep going. Tyler Durbin is making the exact same points that I made in my other articles, so I'm not going to tarry on that. If you're looking at my thing, you've heard me bitch about that part enough. Let's keep going. About the farm. Adrian Chen, staff writer for The New Yorker, who first profiled the indicted Russian troll farm in 2015, sat down with MSNBC's Chris Hayes, where he proceeded to deflate Mueller's big scary indictment to nothing. Tried to tamp down the troll farm panic on Chris Hayes' show last night, Adrian tweeted, "It's 90 people with a shaky grasp of English and a rudimentary understanding of U.S. politics shit posting on Facebook." That's what it is. Let's listen to what he said. Let's take a look at him ourselves, and we'll go from there. And why can't we hear you, dude? Wait. Why can't we hear you? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm not sure what's taking place. Twitter is... Yeah, I don't know what's taking place. Come on.
I don't believe that it isn't all of that.
There we go. Alright, so the sound quality sounds bizarre, but let's rock.
Effective. You know, it's essentially a social media marketing campaign with 90 people, a couple $1 million, few $1 million behind it, run by people who have, you know, a bare grasp of the English language and not a full understanding of who they're targeting, what they're targeting. I think if you think about that in terms of just a normal marketing campaign, that's not going to be a very good bang for your buck. I think that the paranoia aspect, right? The idea that there is this, you know, kind of all-powerful or, you know, immense propaganda machine that's going on, and that anybody who's tweeting something that you don't like or is, you know, kind of causing trouble on the internet can be chalked up to Russia. That is a very powerful thing that's going on, and is really increasing now, I think, in the wake of these indictments in kind of a worrying way. There's not a lot of people saying, well, let's hold back, you know, maybe it's not all of that big of a deal.
Adrian Chen and Rosalind Hilderman, thanks for making the time.
Well, considering Chris Hayes had a bunch of maniacs on there last night screaming that this was Pearl Harbor and 9/11, thank you for bringing on somebody with a little bit more sense and a little bit more sane. Those other people are fucking idiots and they're hysterical. So I appreciate this. One of the articles that came out showed what this troll farm actually was. Meaning, the Washington Post showed a story on what they were posting at the troll farm. And I hadn't seen this video. Looking at what the ads were, put it this way, when I looked at the ads, I was like, is this what they're talking about? Like, is this really what they're talking about? That this swayed an election, and if so, those people should be medicated. Let's see. Let's copy this. I can't open this up in a regular account because Washington Post. Democracy dies in the darkness. All right. Perfect. So this is what they're saying is toppling America. Now, look at this part. Support Hillary, save American Muslims. The time has come to understand one simple thing. We American Muslims are as Americans. Support Hillary, save American Muslims. Oh my God, it looks like Hillary Clinton is being helped by the Russians. What the fuck? What the fuck? Mueller said that they were trying to topple the Hillary Clinton campaign. This says that they are supporting Hillary Clinton. Why is nobody screaming about Hillary Clinton being supported by the Russians? Let's keep going. I mean, this is what they're saying is ordinary stuff that you hear in campaigns. And for all intents and purposes, these are Facebook ads, half of which came after the election. It's too fucking stupid. But here we go. Don't mess with Texas border control. Border Patrol agents in South Texas arrested an illegal alien from Honduras that had previously been deported and convicted of second-degree rape. Thanks to Obama and Hillary Clinton policy, illegals come here because they want amnesty promise. Republicans say this anyway. Nothing in this article is any different than what Republicans say. What bang for your buck do you get saying and repeating the exact same tropes that Republicans say? Let's keep going. This one is a Bernie Sanders supporter. Born liberal. If you ask me about the Clinton Foundation, I do have a problem when the sitting Secretary of State and the foundation run by her husband collects many millions of dollars from foreign governments, many governments which dictatorships. Yes, I do, Sanders said in an interview with Jake Tapper on CNN. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Bernie Sanders said this or not. It's kind of besides the point. This statement is true. That statement, it may not necessarily be attributed to Sanders, but the Clinton Foundation does take a huge amount of money. People did know that it took large amounts of money. If you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, you already knew that it took huge amounts of money. This is not news. This is information that was already out, and people already saw, and people already knew. Let's keep going. I'm making a point here that this is too ridiculous. The stuff that's being said is stuff that either Republicans or Democrats already say. How does this sway anything when it's fitting into the minutia that's already there? I mean, come on. Get ready to see. This is talking about Texas secession. Seceding from the Union. Let's keep going. Black Lives Matter. Just join us because we care. Black matters. That's not even a good grasp of the English language. Black matters. Black matters. I read this before I read the other thing. I was like, these guys didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. Do you honestly believe? Explain to me. Explain something to me. What mattered more to you? The fact that Trayvon Martin was shot. The fact that the guy was strangled in New York by a cop. The fact that Tamir Rice was shot in the face by a cop and that cop walked. What mattered more to you? A Facebook ad talking about it, or the fact that it happened? What matters more? I would guarantee you that the people who respond to this care about what happened, not that they're a goddamn Facebook ad talking about it. This is fucking ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So let's keep going. A New Yorker supporting group that mimicked Black Lives Matter, a New Yorker supporting Trump. Donald Trump jumped around on one stage after the next, screaming, "Lock her up." You believe this Facebook ad had the force of the candidate himself screaming, "Lock her up." Again, you believe that Hillary Clinton screaming that Donald Trump was a flaming racist and Donald Trump was going to eat your puppies and kick your babies. Do you believe that that had more force than an ad or that the candidates themselves? I'm trying to get across to you this thing of relevance. These ads had no effect on the election outcome. These ads, if you notice, I'm not hedging. They had zero effect on the election outcome. These ads fit perfectly into the things that people were already saying. It's one thing if you're telling me that, look, nobody was saying this stuff that these Russians were saying and it is up caught on wildfire. Fair enough. That's not what's taking place. These ads are literally what the campaigns were already saying. Let's keep going. I want you to see what they're saying is undermining democracy. Well, Bernie Sanders is undermining democracy, and there needs to be severe changes or severe consequences. I'm a Muslim and I'm proud. Good for fucking you. Good job. Good for you. I don't even know what this means. So I don't even know who this is after. So there's that. And by the way, that doesn't even sound like it's for an election per se. That doesn't even sound like it's for an election. So they've added that into the mix. Hillary Clinton has a 69% disapproval rate among all veterans. That may or may not be true. So what? If somebody clicks on this, you understand that the person already has a disposition for these things. This is why these things don't really matter. They're advertisement campaigns. God hates bigots. Westboro Baptist Church is planning to stand against tolerance in education system near LG. What? Westboro Baptist Church is planning to stand against tolerance in education system. Yeah, they're not even... This is not even good English. This is... Make America Great Again. Join Florida Trump rallies. Satan, if I win, Clinton wins. Jesus, not if I can help it, because Jesus is on the side of Hillary Clinton. That's the assumption. Press like to help Jesus win. You understand though, by pressing like, you've been manipulated by Vladimir Putin. You are helping topple the election for Hillary Clinton. You're attacking democracy, according to Bernie Sanders. The word of truth, 38. I don't know what this means. Danielle Williams, 30, has been trying since at least 1999 to be acknowledged as an out-of-wedlock son of former President Bill Clinton and a black prostitute in Little Rock, Arkansas. That feels slightly racist. I'm not sure why. That's awesome. Here, oh God, people have been running around the country saying Bill Clinton raped a woman, which may be true. Well, Juanita Broderick is pretty clear in her interpretations of what took place. Multiple sexual allegations, including the idea that Bill Clinton had a black son. This is nothing new. They've been saying that Bill Clinton has body counts. Are you shitting me? Oh man, they said Bill Clinton had a black kid and Hillary Clinton fell apart. Hillary Clinton fell apart. This is fucking amazing. I can't believe that this is the shit that America is talking about. You people are fucking idiots. Stop Sharia, opposed to Muslim immigration. Sharia law should not even be debatable. You cannot enter a foreign country and set up your own set of laws and regulations that contradict most of the world's moral standards. I don't know if it contradicts most of the world's foreign standards, but I agree with it in principle. Sharia law should not be debatable. Fair enough, but nobody's trying to debate Sharia law. Nobody. Who's debating it? Republicans bring it up, but nobody else is talking about it. Defend the Second Amendment. The community of Second Amendment supporters, gun lovers, and patriots. If you're an NRA supporter. So if you are already a gun nut, say you weren't a gun nut, would defend the Second Amendment if you weren't a gun nut get you to click that link and say, I need to defend the Second Amendment? Fuck, man. I wasn't thinking about defending the Second Amendment until I saw this ad. And now, God damn it, I need my gun. I need my fucking gun. And I need to go and vote for Donald Trump. They believe that people are idiots. And this angers me that much more that Bernie Sanders goes along with this, seeing the ads that Bernie Sanders is saying was toppling democracy, was attacking democracy. There needs to be severe consequences for Russia if they're fucking around in our elections. They have not linked this to Vladimir Putin. That's the first part. And even if they did, this is comically ridiculous that they're saying this topple democracy. This is stupid. This is stupid. I'm sorry. This is stupid. I can't take these people seriously. This is profoundly stupid. That's amazing. Let's take a look at this one. Let's look at all of them. Another gruesome attack on police by a Black Lives Matter activist. Our hearts are with those 11 heroes. Heroes is too strong. Heroes is mightily strong. They're cops. They're not heroes. And again, do you believe that cops are looking at this and all of a sudden became racist maniacs that were put on the streets? Or do you believe cops were already assholes? This may have pissed somebody off, but I guarantee you that the person was already predispositioned to be pissed off and is already on a particular side of that dividing line. Meaning they already thought Black Lives Matter activists were terrorists. They already thought that they were horrible and all this other stuff. They already thought that the Black Lives Matter were racist and that they were pissing a fit for no reason. Those people were already there. This ad did squat. All of these ads did squat. Every man should stand for our borders. Join. No invaders allowed. I have no idea what that means. But secured borders. Okay. Support Hillary. Well, they're just supporting Hillary on that one. My point to you is, do you honestly believe? Now, I've shown the study showing that these things had no impact on the election. If I'm not mistaken, Rodstein himself said these things had no impact on the election. Nobody in their right mind, if they were being honest, if they were asked what impact they had on the election, would say they had an impact on the election. They can't even make the complete link between this and Putin, even though they've screamed Putin's name as if this was done by the Russian government. They have not made that link. They have not made the link. You've seen the ads for yourself. These ads are ridiculous. You've seen the guy who actually found this troll farm first saying these people barely speak English, and you've seen yourself in the ads themselves. It's not all that great English. This is silly. This is silly. They should be punished for this. They should not be allowed to get away with this. This is silly. This is remarkably silly. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring Sanders up again, but it made me feel some kind of way that he goes along with this. This is stupid. You're trying to say that your supporters were essentially gamed by the ridiculousness that I've just shown you. And that the ridiculousness that I've just shown you, the majority of which taken place after the election, was somehow done to sway the election. Muslims for Hillary was supposed to sway the election. This is fucking stupid. I'm going to end this here. I don't want this video to go too long. I just wanted to show what the person was saying, the guy who actually saw it first on Chris Hayes, him essentially eviscerating what Mueller is saying in that investigation. Get the point across that no, they couldn't necessarily make the connection to Russia, and even if you did make the correct connection to Russia, the links or the articles themselves, the social media things, the majority of which appeared after the election, and even then had no impact on the election itself. This is fluff, built on ridiculousness, on a pillar of stupidity. So, I will end it at this. And look, just because there's no there's no reality to it, doesn't necessarily mean that the people won't necessarily act as if there was a reality to it. Meaning, it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't try to pass certain policies or procedures and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that at all. This is silly. They brought Jill Stein on the show and asked Jill Stein about one Facebook ad. And when Jill Stein made the point that that's one Facebook ad, how on earth is my campaign going to protect against one Facebook ad? Do you realize how stupid this is that you're telling me about one Facebook ad? Reporter still plowed through her point, missing the fact that it's one Facebook ad. And if I'm being honest, I think of lefties less after this. Like watching some lefty networks who are like, Bernie Sanders strikes back. Bernie Sanders rolled over. Bernie Sanders wasn't striking anyone. That's essentially, hey, Bernie Sanders, like they're rubbing his belly when he rolled over. Fucking cute. You're sweet. Now go out there and fuck over your supporters and hit Black Lives Matter in the knees and your own supporters in the knees and hit yourself in the knees. Hit yourself in the knees. People didn't have two brain cells to rub together. That for all intents and purposes, it was Vladimir Putin manipulating the deck chairs, pushing Black Lives Matter to be angry about being shot in the face and having these cops walk, pushing Bernie Sanders supporters to be angry that Hillary Clinton cheated or that the Democratic Party cheated them in the primaries. That was Russia. That wasn't them being pissed off. Muslims not necessarily liking the policies that Hillary Clinton would espouse. No, those people, they weren't pissed off that that woman was perfectly okay with toppling democracies. They were just angry because of Vladimir Putin. This is silly. This is absurd. And the man who's supposed to be the most credible man in politics has found himself to be somewhat incredible in the things that he's saying on Chuck Todd, on Meet the Press. So, you've seen the ads for yourself. This is ridiculousness. If you don't believe it's ridiculousness, say so at the bottom. But if so, explain why it's not ridiculousness. Explain how anybody is going to be enticed by these ads. And explain why you believe that the people who are enticed by these ads are swayed to one way or another to vote for a particular person. Also explain why the evidence that says that's not the case is irrelevant. Explain why the studies that were done that said that this had no effect on the election were irrelevant. Explain why the investigator himself said that there was no effect on the election. Explain why all of these people are irrelevant in saying that there were no effect on the election. And explain how America has standing to make this argument after America has destroyed Libya, destroyed Iraq, is in Syria right now bombing and killing Syrians, is in one country after the next, 70% of our special forces, or our special forces in 70% of the globe. Explain how we have to stand to make the argument that we've been hurt and aggrieved in this. Explain this to me. Explain this to me. Explain to me all of this, because I don't see it. This sounds absurd to me. And the more I dig into this, the more absurd this gets. You have actual real issues. There are real issues. This is not one of them. I don't care what lefties are telling you. I don't care what these people are telling you in regards to CNN and MSNBC. I don't care. This is not real. They're using this to obfuscate from issues associated with the Democratic Party. They want to scream Trump, Trump, Trump without actually dealing with the issues affecting them. Why do we fail so much? How do we lose so much? How do we lose to reality shows? How do we lose to the House and Senate Supreme Court? How do we lose over 1,000 seats throughout the United States? How do we lose this much? Why do we lose to maniacs? Those are difficult questions that they don't want to answer. They don't want to address their donors. It is far easier to have this conversation with Russia and obfuscate with the ridiculousness that they're doing. This is hysteria. This is theatrics. This is not reality. This is theatrics. There is a difference in those things. So I'm going to leave it on that because I don't want to get too late. And it is like 5 in the morning and my speech is starting to slur. I'm getting tired. So I'm going to end it at that. I hope I made my point without going on too much. So you guys have a good one. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe. And of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks, everyone.